Welcome back to Cozy English Corner. I am Alex, and as we sit here today, looking out the window, Columbus is giving us its classic unpredictable weather. It was sunny an hour ago, and now there is a sudden heavy rain.
That is Ohio for you. You can experience all 4 seasons in a single Tuesday. I am Harper, by the way. I run a small bakery down near the Ohio State campus, so unpredictable weather usually means unpredictable customers.
It is wonderful to have you here, Harper. That unpredictability you just mentioned is actually the perfect bridge to what we are discussing today. We are looking at 2 very simple English phrases, I will and I am going to.
Oh, that is a topic I hear my international staff struggle with all the time. They always ask me, Harper, do I say I will bake the bread or I am going to bake the bread? And honestly, sometimes I do not know how to explain the difference.
Most native speakers cannot explain it either because we do not learn it as a grammar rule. We learn it as a feeling. Today, we are going to move away from textbooks and talk about the psychology behind these words.
I like that approach. Grammar rules can feel very cold. When you talk about the feeling, it makes the language feel human.
Exactly. Let us start with I am going to. When you say this, you are talking about a plan, something you decided in the past. It carries weight. It carries intention.
That makes sense. Like when I do my business inventory on Sunday nights. I sit down and tell myself, I am going to order 50 pounds of flour on Monday morning. I decided it before the action happens.
Yes. And because it is a plan, going to often carries the heavy burden of adulthood. Think about the things we say we are going to do. I am going to pay off this credit card debt. I am going to start taking care of my health. There is a deep, often unspoken pressure there.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. When I say, I am going to pay off my business loan, it keeps me awake at night. It is a commitment that I am carrying on my shoulders.
Right. We construct our future safety with going to. It is the architecture of our lives. But what happens when that architecture fails? What happens when a sudden crisis hits your bakery?
That happens almost every week. Just last Friday, our main espresso machine completely broke down right when the morning rush started.
And in that exact moment of panic, did you say, I am going to call the repair company?
No, I just grabbed my phone and told my staff, do not worry, I will call the mechanic right now.
Exactly. You used will. Will is the spark. It is the immediate, spontaneous decision made at the exact moment of speaking. There is no prior plan. It is pure reaction.
That is fascinating. So I am going to is the long, heavy road of planning, and I will is the quick reaction to whatever life throws at you.
Yes, and there is actually a scientific reason behind why these feel so different. The brain processes these 2 concepts in entirely different areas.
Wait, really? Grammar is connected to brain biology?
It is. When you use I am going to and make a long-term plan, you are using the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain responsible for complex planning, predicting future outcomes, and managing anxiety. It uses a lot of energy.
That perfectly explains why planning feels so exhausting. By the time I finish writing out my goals for the month, I feel mentally drained.
But when the espresso machine broke and you said, I will handle it, that was driven more by your amygdala and immediate problem-solving centers. It is a fast, adaptive survival response. Will is the language of survival in the present moment.
That is honestly beautiful. It makes me respect the English language a lot more. It is not just rules on a whiteboard. It is a reflection of how we survive our days.
Let us put this into a daily context here in Columbus. Imagine you are driving down Interstate 71. The traffic is terrible, which is normal for rush hour.
Oh, I know that pain well. I sit in that traffic every evening, looking at the brake lights ahead of me.
Exactly. Now, suppose your friend calls you from the restaurant where you 2 arranged to meet. Before you even left your house, you knew you might be late. So you say, traffic is bad. I am going to be late.
Right, because I already saw the traffic report earlier. It was a known fact, a pre-existing situation.
But let us change the scenario. You are driving, everything is fine, and suddenly a tire blows out. You pull over safely. Your friend calls to ask where you are. In that sudden moment of crisis, what do you say?
I would say, my tire just popped. I will be late.
Exactly. You use will because the situation just emerged. It is a fresh reality. The emotional tone shifts completely from a predictable delay to an immediate update.
This makes so much sense. But it also makes me think about how we handle bigger fears, like getting older or losing our physical strength, things that really scare us underneath the surface.
That is a very brave point to raise, Harper. Let us explore that. When we face deep insecurities, the language we choose dictates our emotional response. Think about the insecurity of aging.
I feel that constantly. I am on my feet 14 hours a day at the bakery. Lately, my knees hurt. I catch myself looking in the mirror and worrying about my future mobility.
I understand that fear. When you look in the mirror and feel that worry, if you say, I am going to get weak, you are establishing it as a definite plan. Your brain accepts it as a scheduled future reality.
Oh, that sounds terrible. It sounds like I am surrendering to it.
It is a heavy psychological burden. But if you shift that narrative, if you wake up, feel the pain in your knees, and make an immediate decision, I will stretch every morning. I will protect my health.
That feels entirely different. I will feels like taking my power back. It is an active choice against the fear.
Precisely. The grammar shapes your reality. Going to is fantastic when you need structure, like a business plan. But when you are overwhelmed by the shadows of the future, will is the immediate courage you need.
It is funny how we avoid talking about this. People learn English to find better jobs or to move to a place like the US, but they carry all this internal anxiety that grammar books never address.
That is exactly why Cozy English Corner exists. To speak to the person, not just the student. Let us look at interpersonal relationships. How do these words affect our connections with others?
I can imagine it changes how supportive we sound. If an employee comes to me crying because a customer yelled at them, I would never say, I am going to help you.
Why not? What does I am going to help you feel like in that emotional moment?
It feels distant. It sounds like I am adding them to my schedule. Like, I see you are crying. I am going to help you. Right after I finish this email. It lacks warmth.
Exactly. It lacks immediacy. So in that moment of empathy, what naturally comes out of your mouth?
I say, hey, breathe. I will handle that customer. I will take care of it. It is a shield I am putting up for them right then and there.
A shield. What a perfect description. Will is an immediate promise. When we offer to help, carry a bag, or defend a friend, will is the language of human connection in the present.
So when we mix them up, we might accidentally send the wrong emotional signal. We are not just making a grammar mistake. We might be making a connection mistake.
Yes, though native speakers are very forgiving. We understand context. However, for a learner wanting to sound truly natural and empathetic, mastering this small difference changes how native speakers perceive their emotional intelligence.
I want to bring up another pain point. Many of us are struggling financially. Everything is expensive now. Rents around the short North District here in Columbus have skyrocketed.
That is the harsh reality. Economic pressure is silently crushing a lot of dreams. How does this connect to our language?
When you have no money, you cannot afford to plan. You cannot say, I am going to buy a house in 2 years. You are forced into a constant state of will. I will figure out rent this month. I will skip dinner to save money.
That is deeply insightful. Going to is a privilege of stability. It assumes you have control over tomorrow. Will is the gritty, immediate resilience of survival when the future is completely uncertain.
Exactly. I think a lot of people feel exhausted because society tells them they need to have a going to plan for their entire life. But sometimes just having the will to get through the day is enough.
That is a message people desperately need to hear. If you are learning English and you are trying to survive in a new country or just trying to get by, do not punish yourself for not having a 5-year plan. I will handle today is a perfectly complete sentence.
I feel lighter just talking about this. It takes away the shame. Now, if I may ask a technical question, is there a time when both are totally acceptable?
Yes, absolutely. When you are making predictions based on your personal opinion, both work fine. If you look at a dark cloud, you can say, it is going to rain, because you see the evidence. But if you are just guessing about the future, you can say, I think it will rain.
So the evidence makes the difference. If I see the Ohio State football team losing by 20 points in the final quarter, I say, they are going to lose.
Exactly. You see the reality unfolding. You use going to. But before the season even starts, you might say, I believe they will win the championship this year. It is a belief, not a concrete plan or visible evidence.
This completely clears it up. Going to holds the weight of evidence and planning. Will holds the spark of belief, promise, and sudden reaction.
You summarize that beautifully, Harper. As we wrap up this quiet moment together, I want our listeners to think about their own lives. Notice the pressure you put on yourself with your going to plans.
Yes, give yourself a little grace. If you cannot afford to build a massive future plan right now, trust your ability to react to the moment. Trust your will.
That is the core of Cozy English Corner, learning the language of the mind and the heart. Thank you, Harper, for bringing such honesty and depth from your life in Columbus.
Thank you for having me, Alex. I am going to go back to my bakery now, and I will probably face another broken machine by noon.
And I know you will handle it perfectly. To everyone listening, if you felt a connection to this conversation, please subscribe and stay with us. We will be here, ready to explore more real English with you. Take care.